In 1247, Wainwright is looking for food in the middle of a storm. After getting just a few berries from an old bush, she falls asleep on the ground. After the storm passes, she wakes up and sees a light in the distance, so she follows it until she finds Robin sitting by a bonfire. When she asks for food, he lets her sit with him. Wainwright realizes that this man is the legendary outlaw Robin Hood, protector of the weak. He's known for stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. However, Robin says the stories about him are all lies and he's nothing but a murderous brigand who killed and robbed for the joy of it. After giving her a warning, Robin walks away. Wainwright eats something and says a prayer before she goes looking for Robin. She finds him sleeping next to another bonfire and gets ready to attack him, but he reveals he's awake and tackles her first. He quickly slashes her neck and watches her bleed as he realizes she wanted revenge because he killed her relatives. Robin points out the mistakes she made before stabbing her to kill her. The next morning, Robin buries Wainwright's body next to all the other people who have failed to kill him. Later, while Robin is washing up in the river, he's approached by his old friend Little John. After sharing that all the other members of their gang are dead, John asks Robin for help. He explains that 10 years ago, he killed a farmer and took his identity. Since then, he's been living on the farm with his wife and daughter. Recently, the original farmer's relatives learned what happened, so they took his family and the farm from him. They also tried to kill John, but he managed to escape, and now he wants Robin's help to get it all back. At first, Robin says he's tired of fighting, so John says their enemies are strong and it'd be a mighty battle. Thinking this may be the end he's seeking, Robin agrees to help. For the next several days, Robin and John travel together on foot. When they reach a bridge, John kills a man to take his food. While they eat, John mentions one of their adventures, but Robin points out that it's one of the stories and that it never actually happened. Then John tells him about his wife Margaret, who helped him become more than a monster with her kindness. She even taught him to pray and paint. John thinks that after they rescue her they can start over beyond the mountains, but Robin doesn't plan to survive this battle. When they arrive at the farm, the men make a plan. First they take off their clothes and rub their skin with dirt to get rid of their body odor. Then they wait until a thick fog has covered the area to move. Robin kills a guard dog with an arrow to the eye before sneaking into a shack, where he kills every person he finds. A wounded man manages to leave, but Robin follows him to stab him. Afterward, the duo goes to the main house and kills the guy at the door. When they burst in, a man uses Margaret as a shield while telling a boy to go looking for backup. Margaret asks John to take care of their daughter before the man stabs her several times. John screams in fury and grief before jumping on the man to beat him up to death. Meanwhile, Robin sees the running boy and shoots him in the head with an arrow before he can reach his relatives. The body rolls down into the river. A furious John keeps beating up Margaret's killer even though he's already dead, to the point he rips off his jaw. Then he moves to Margaret's side and has a breakdown. At that moment he realizes that his daughter little Margaret is watching him, so he holds her hands and they pray together. Next, John cleans Margaret's body and prepares it for burial. At the same time, Shepherd Arthur is out with his sheep when he suddenly sees his cousin with an arrow in the head. The boy is taken to the family home, where he dies. The clan's elderfather says a prayer while suiting up, hungry for revenge. That night Robin is awakened by a strange noise and he discovers that the original farmer's family has set the main house on fire. He gets his bow to quickly shoot a man down, but another guy closes the door to lock him up in the shack, which is now on fire too. Robin tries to push the door open to no avail, so he instead stabs the man's hand through the wood. Then Robin comes out coughing because of the smoke, but he still manages to pull the man's hand through the blade. When Robin tries to crawl away, the man pushes his face into the mud, so Robin grabs his split hand and pulls the halves to make him roll in pain. Then Robin tries to finish him, only for the guy to stab him with a knife a few times. Robin steals the knife to stab him in return before killing him by inserting a torch into his mouth. At that moment John comes out of the main house with little Margaret. After dropping the girl, he goes back inside for his wife's body, ignoring Robin's warnings. Suddenly the elderfather shows up, announcing he wants John's and little Margaret's life as reparation for the relatives he lost. Robin immediately confronts him and a vicious fight ensues. Both men keep attacking each other without mercy and it seems that the elderfather has the upper hand. After stealing the man's knife, Robin tries to stab him in the head, but the elderfather blocks it and his arm gets stabbed instead. Then the elderfather knocks Robin down and breaks his leg with his mace. He also hits him in the back, but before he can smash his head too, John appears behind him and kills him first. The next day John and Margaret take Robin away on a cart. Robin stays unconscious most of the time, but he remembers the pain of having his wounds closed with a burning iron. The group takes a boat to reach an island and John drops Robin off at a monastery. He can't stay because the rest of the farmer's family will probably come after him, so he and Margaret leave while Robin passes out at the sight of a strange figure. When Robin wakes up, he's comfortable on a bed. Sister Bridget comes to check on him and explains he was unconscious for 6 days. She also explains that John sealed his wounds correctly but his broken bones will take a while to recover. When Bridget asks for his name, he gives her a fake one. While she changes his bandages and treats him with bloodletting, Bridget reveals that the past few days of feverish Robin asked her to let him meet his end and she apologizes for not respecting his wish. That night, the strange figure appears in Robin's room. This strange guy has his whole body covered in bandages including his face, and he warns Robin that he better not put the monastery in any danger. A few days later, Robin can finally walk again and he practices around his room under Bridget's careful watch. When he's strong enough to open the door, she lets him go out. Robin looks around the area and finds a kind community living together in harmony. Bridget tells Robin that he must help if he wants to stay longer, so he promises to hunt some animals. Afterward, Robin goes to the shore and finds a boat, but he isn't strong enough to push it into the water. The mysterious man sees him and calls him out for trying to escape. In the daylight, Robin realizes that this man is a leper. After sharing some philosophy about God and taking it easy to recover, the leper explains he's in charge of the boat and uses it to transport people who aren't strong enough to row. However, he refuses to take Robin, saying he must first pay his debt with the monastery. In the afternoon, Robin makes a bunch of arrows and a bow. Then he goes to the forest, only to discover he can't use the bow because his body hasn't recovered enough yet. At that moment, a kid comes to tell him that the leper has brought someone new. Robin rushes to the shore and is shocked to find little Margaret, who immediately runs to hug him and informs him that John is dead. The next day in the forest, Robin catches a rabbit using a trap. He notices Margaret watching him from behind a tree, so he steps on the rabbit's neck to kill it, causing Margaret to run away. When Robin returns to the monastery, he asks the leper about his past and the trip with Margaret, but instead of answering, the leper teaches him about the fruits they're growing. Later, Bridget changes Robin's bandages and tells him that Margaret won't sleep, eat, or speak. Robin shares the kid's name and that her parents are dead, but he doesn't give Bridget any details. She immediately can tell he's lying, but she still offers to pray for Margaret's parents. Robin gives her John's fake name and she recites a beautiful prayer in his memory. One afternoon, Robin hears some screaming and discovers a bleeding child while Margaret is running with a knife. Bridget tries to stop her, but Margaret is fast enough to escape. Now the whole community has to go looking for her. On the beach, Robin finds some footprints and follows them into a cave where Margaret is sleeping with the knife in her hand. When Robin wakes her up, she points the blade at him, but he easily takes it from her. He asks her who hurt her, but Margaret doesn't answer. Next, he asks if she was followed and Margaret shakes her head. She doesn't speak until Robin makes her say his name and she mentions the fake one, getting Robin's approval. However, he becomes very angry when Margaret asks who little John is, telling her that a cat will rip off her tongue if she ever says that name again. Robin takes Margaret back to the monastery and Bridget expresses her gratitude. She shares the story behind the monastery's foundation and admits she believes it has power. Robin thinks giving stories power is dangerous because it makes men do terrible things. Then they check on Margaret and finally convince her to eat. A few mornings later, Robin is helping the leper, who reveals he doesn't have much time left. At that moment, Robin sees smoke on the mainland, so the leper leaves to pick up another person. In the afternoon, Robin teaches Margaret how to clean a rabbit, but he gets distracted by the leper's return. The person he's brought is Arthur, who has lost an eye. While Bridget takes care of him, Robin introduces himself with a fake name. Arthur doesn't recognize him and shares that he was attacked while he was looking for his niece, which Robin finds suspicious. Later, Robin teaches Margaret how to use a bow in the forest. He asks her if she knows Arthur or if she knows the men who hurt her father, but Margaret explains that her papa made her run. She asks for her father's name, but Robin refuses to say it and distracts her by telling her how to fix the bow she made. Margaret would rather have one made by him, so Robin agrees to get her one. One night, Robin sees Bridget leave the monastery and decides to follow her. She enters a cave where she burns some incense before getting busy with her hand. Robin watches it all from the shadows. When Bridget turns around, he's gone. Meanwhile, Arthur recovers quickly and starts helping by chopping wood. Robin gets the things ready for the new bow and Margaret hugs him in gratitude before running to play with the other kids. When Robin notices Arthur staring at Margaret, he tells him to come hunting with him. In the forest, Robin asks Arthur many questions about his family, desperate to confirm his identity. Arthur lets him look at his wound and says that bandits did it, so Robin points out he's lucky they didn't take his whole head. Their conversation is interrupted by a kid telling them that Bridget needs them. In the monastery, Bridget leaves Robin alone with the leper, who has asked for him on his deathbed. The leper wonders if he's heard the story of Robin Hood and Guy of Gisborne, admitting that he knows Robin's real identity. Robin tells him it's just another story and there never was a Guy of Gisborne. However, the leper reveals he's that guy and confirms it by showing he's missing the ear Robin cut off. The leper asks Robin to protect the monastery after he's gone, but also makes him promise to never tell Bridget who he really is. That afternoon, the community holds a funeral for the leper. Determined not to let anyone from his past ruin this peaceful place, Robin says goodbye to Bridget before sailing to the mainland with Arthur under the excuse they have someone to pick up. On the beach, Arthur notices there's nobody around, so Robin says they shall wait. Then Robin points out that Arthur is lying about his name, so the boy admits that his real name is Godwin. Robin explains that he killed many people in the past, but the violence never stops because the relatives of his victims keep coming after him and he has to kill them as well. The cycle of revenge is nothing but a curse. Godwin has a breakdown as he admits he doesn't want to kill Margaret, but he has to do it for his clan. Robin tells him he should be with his family and appreciate his life instead of killing for them, so he wants Godwin to run away or he'll murder him first. Godwin leaves without another word. When Robin returns to the monastery, He decides to tell Bridget his real name, calling himself a monster. Devastated by this revelation, Bridget walks away without saying anything and doesn't hear Robin's apology. To avoid falling into despair, Robin stays busy by running to the woods and killing a wild boar. He spends the rest of the day cleaning it. That night, Robin tells Bridget that he'll leave if she wants him to. Bridget only makes him get in bed to continue his treatment. His arm bleeds into a pot and Bridget doesn't cover the wound, so Robin wonders if she's finally killing him. After some hesitation, Bridget bandages his arm and leaves. Later, Bridget paints everyone's faces so they can celebrate their food around the fire. However, she ends up returning to the room and reveals that it was Robin who killed her family. Her house was set on fire and her husband wrapped himself around her children, but they all died in the end. Drowning in guilt, Robin doesn't say anything. Then Bridget returns to the cave to have a breakdown in private. Meanwhile, Margaret tries to check on Robin, who won't speak or open the door to her. After he falls asleep, he dreams that John is in the room with him. John promises he'll rescue Robin and Margaret from the monastery before sharing stories about his wife. The dream ends when an arrow goes through John's head, and Robin sees himself shooting it. In the morning, Robin searches for Bridget and tells her he's ready to meet his end. Bridget points out that she owes this life of helping people to his crimes, which doesn't feel right. She's never killed anyone before and she's only supposed to help people, so Robin assures her that his death would equal helping him. They return to the room and Bridget starts the treatment, but this time she doesn't stop the bleeding. At that moment, Robin sees Margaret at the door, so he tells her John's real name and shares the story of how they met on a bridge decades ago. When Bridget starts having second thoughts and tries to cover his arm, Robin stops her. Then he makes Margaret promise that she'll never tell anyone who her father is, otherwise revenge seekers will come for her. When Margaret comes closer, Robin gives her the brand new bow and guides her on how to use it. As Margaret shoots an arrow, Robin takes his last breath. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.